Beyond the Gates. Spoilers full. Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today is Tuesday, a beautiful day outside, but honestly, I am stuck in here staring at my screen because the DMV drama on Beyond the Gates is absolutely melting my brain right now. Grab a coffee or something stronger because we have a massive amount of messy storyline to unpack today and I am just so ready to vent about it. So let's just dive right into the deep end of the pool because the latest Beyond the Gates spoilers are blowing my mind and honestly making me question everything I thought I knew about these characters. And I mean everything. We need to talk about Bill Hamilton and Ted Richardson. Yes, you heard me right. Bill and Ted. It sounds like a bad movie sequel, but no. This is the actual storyline we are getting right now, and it is so layered and so messy that I barely know where to start. Let's be real for a second. Bill Hamilton is currently lying in a hospital bed. He is surviving what we all know is Haley's absolutely terrible, slow-acting poison plot. I mean, worst Black Widow ever, right? But while he is stuck in that bed, his mind is working overtime. He is reaching out to Danny, he is trying to seduce his ex-wife from his sickbed, and he is just generally causing absolute chaos. But the spoilers are pointing to a new dynamic that I did not see coming at all. Bill and Ted are going to start bonding. And why are they bonding? Because they share a very specific, very toxic common denominator. The Dupree family. And more specifically, the fact that both of these men have been completely and utterly alienated and rejected by the Duprees. I mean, think about it. The Duprees are like the royal family of Fairmont Crest in their own minds. Vernon and Anita sit up there in their high castle and they judge everyone. They just held a literal family tribunal for Danny because she made a Freudian slip and called Bill her husband. Vernon demanded answers. Anita was disappointed. Nicole was clutching her pearls. The whole family operates on this strict code of conduct that nobody can actually live up to. And if you cross them, you are out. You are done. You are an outcast. So Bill is feeling that isolation right now. He left Danny for her daughter's best friend, Haley. A terrible move. A disgusting move, honestly. And the Duprees rightfully banished him to the Shadow Realm. He is persona non grata. He is only tolerated when it comes to the kids. And even then, it is through gritted teeth. Bill is sitting there in his hospital gown, realizing that he has nobody. Haley is literally trying to kill him, even if he hasn't fully figured out the poison part yet, and the family he used to have wants nothing to do with him. But then there is Ted Richardson. Ted is supposed to be the wise one, right? The guy who gives Andre advice about his stalker, the guy who reunites with Dr. Carlton Fitzgerald and acts like he has his entire life together. But Ted has skeletons, massive, closet-busting skeletons, and the spoilers show that Bill and Ted are going to find common ground over their past mistakes. Let's rewind a bit because we have to talk about Leslie Thomas. Oh my god, Leslie. We all know Eva just recently went nuclear on her mother, accusing Leslie of rejecting romantic options because she is still pining for her teddy bear Ted Richardson. And honestly, Eva is not wrong. Leslie is obsessed. But the history there is so much darker and more complicated than just a lingering crush. Leslie used to be Vernon Dupree's maid. Let that sink in. She worked for the Duprees. She was in their house. And Ted Richardson, the supposedly upstanding guy, had a full-blown affair with the help. He couldn't keep his hands to himself and he hooked up with Vernon's maid. That is the kind of scandal that rocks a family to its core. And what happened? Ted couldn't foresee the consequences. He just acted on impulse. And that impulse destroyed his marriage. It completely blew up his life. The spoilers make it very clear that Ted deeply regrets what happened. He regrets that his actions tore his marriage apart. He regrets the pain he caused. But at the same time, he can't regret it entirely, because that affair gave him Eva. He loves Eva Thomas so much. She is a bright spot in his life. But the cost of having her was his standing in the family and his marriage. So now you have Bill and Ted, two men who completely torpedoed their own lives because they couldn't control themselves. Bill went for the daughter's best friend. Ted went for the father-in-law's maid. I mean, what were they thinking? Who actually believes this is going to end well? Neither of them. And now they are both paying the price. The Duprees do not forgive. They do not forget. When Ted's marriage ended, he became just as unwelcome as Bill is now. The spoilers explicitly say that the biggest moment impacting both of these men is being rejected by the family. The second their respective marriages ended, they became outcasts. They are not welcome at family dinners. They are not invited to the barbecues. They are only tolerated when absolutely necessary. It is a very specific kind of hell to be on the outside of a family you used to be the center of. Very few people try to help them. Except for their kids, they are completely isolated. And that isolation is what draws them together. Imagine the scenes we are going to get. Bill in his hospital bed, maybe Ted comes to visit him, or maybe they run into each other at some neutral location once Bill is out, and they just start talking. They start commiserating. Oh, Vernon looked at me like I was trash today. Yeah, well, Anita crossed the street to avoid me. It is going to be this weird, toxic echo chamber of two men who ruined their own lives, blaming the family that rightfully kicked them out. And honestly, I am kind of here for it. It is fascinating character work. Because on the surface, Bill and Ted seem so different. Bill is loud, he is powerful, he is aggressively manipulative. He is currently trying to seduce Danny while his current wife is plotting his demise. Bill is chaotic evil at this point. But Ted? Ted plays the good guy. Ted plays the victim of circumstance. He acts like the wise elder statesman of the Richardson family. He sits there giving Andre advice about secret meetings and stalkers, acting like he has the moral high ground. But he doesn't. He slept with a maid. He blew up his family. He is just as messy as Bill. He just hides it better in a nice suit and a calm voice. And that brings me to the absolute best part of these spoilers. The twist. The thing that is going to make this storyline pop off. It won't last long. Their little outcast club is going to crash and burn. Why? Because Bill Hamilton is a lot of things, but he is not stupid. Bill is a master manipulator. He knows how to read people. He knows when someone is playing a game because he invented the game. The spoilers reveal that Bill is going to realize Ted's fake persona. Bill is going to see right through the nice guy act. And I am so excited for this. Think about it from Bill's perspective. He is sitting there, pouring his heart out about how unfair the Duprees are, and Ted is probably nodding along, playing the empathetic friend. But Bill is going to catch on. He is going to realize that Ted is just pretending to be this reformed, sad, regretful man. Underneath it all, Ted is just as calculating. Ted is enjoying the fact that Bill is worse off than him. Ted likes having someone around who makes his own sins look a little less terrible. When Bill figures this out, it is going to be explosive. Bill does not like being played. He does not like being managed. And if he thinks Ted is patronizing him or using him to feel better about his own messy past with Leslie, Bill is going to strike back. And what does this mean for everyone else? Oh man, the ripple effects are going to be massive. Let's look at Leslie. Poor, delusional Leslie. She is out here doing good deeds, trying to be a good person, but she is still hopelessly in love with Ted. Eva just called her out on it. Eva basically said, Mom, you are rejecting real love because you are stuck on a guy who ruined his marriage for you and then left you hanging. If Leslie finds out that Ted is bonding with Bill Hamilton of all people, how is she going to react? Is she going to try and save Ted from Bill's influence? Or is she going to realize that Ted is just as toxic as the rest of them? And what about Eva? Eva is already stressed. She just had an organ transplant. Her relationship with Isaiah Hawthorne is on the rocks because of the medical trauma. She does not need her father getting wrapped up in Bill Hamilton's messy hospital drama. Eva is observant. She is brutally honest. If she sees Ted acting fake, she is going to call him out just like she called out her mother. And then there is Danny. Danny is already in so much trouble. She is trauma bonded to Bill. She just called him her husband in front of Nicole and the parents. She is risking her marriage to Andre to go sit by Bill's bedside. If Bill suddenly has Ted in his corner, even temporarily, that might make Bill look more stable. It might make Danny think, oh, look, Bill is making amends. He is talking to Ted. He is growing, which is a complete lie. But Danny is so desperate to believe in Bill that she will latch onto anything. And Andre is already paranoid. He is getting stalker texts. He is having secret meetings. He is going to Ted for advice. If Andre finds out that his trusted uncle Ted is hanging out with the man who is actively trying to steal his wife, Andre is going to lose his mind. The betrayal there would be astronomical. Andre trusts Ted. If Ted is playing both sides, commiserating with Bill while advising Andre, that is a level of fake that even I didn't think Ted was capable of. I mean, maybe I am being too harsh on Ted. Maybe he genuinely just feels lonely and sees a kindred spirit in Bill. Okay, that sounded dramatic, but you get what I mean. Sometimes when you are an outcast, you just gravitate toward the only other person in the room who isn't throwing stones at you. But Ted has to know that Bill is radioactive. Anyone who gets close to Bill gets burned. Just ask Danny. Just ask Haley. Speaking of Haley, how is she going to feel about this? She is already furious that Bill reached out to Danny. If Bill starts forming an alliance with Ted Richardson, Haley is going to feel even more threatened. She is already a terrible poisoner. Maybe she will try to take out Ted too? No, that's crazy. But with this show, you honestly never know. The fans on social media have been saying for weeks that Ted is hiding something. They have been saying that his nice guy routine is getting old. And now the writers are finally pulling back the curtain. They are using Bill, the ultimate villain, to expose Ted's fake persona. It is actually kind of brilliant. It takes a monster to recognize a monster. And I just keep thinking about Vernon Dupree in all of this. Vernon is the patriarch. He is the one who fired Leslie. He is the one who banished Ted. He is the one interrogating Danny right now about Bill. If Vernon finds out that Bill and Ted are teaming up, sharing war stories about how mean the Duprees are, Vernon might actually have a stroke. The disrespect, The sheer audacity of these two men, who ruined his daughter and his maid, sitting around complaining about him. It really fits the show's usual style though, doesn't it? Beyond the Gates loves to build these intricate webs of past sins. They never let anyone forget what they did 5, 10 years ago. The past is always present. Leslie being the maid isn't just a fun fact. It is the defining trauma of Ted's life and Eva's existence. Bill leaving Danny for Haley isn't just a plot point. It is the anchor dragging the whole family down. So when you put Bill and Ted in a room together, you aren't just putting two guys together. You are putting decades of Dupree family trauma into a pressure cooker. I am just so curious to see how Bill figures it out. What is the specific moment where Bill looks at Ted and says, "Wait a minute, you are full of it"? Is Ted going to slip up? Is Ted going to say something a little too arrogant? Or is Bill just going to trust his gut? Because Bill's gut, when it isn't being poisoned by Haley, is usually pretty accurate about other people's flaws. Let's be real. Bill loves to project. He loves to point out how terrible other people are so he doesn't have to look at his own mess. Exposing Ted is the perfect distraction for Bill. If he can prove that the great Ted Richardson is actually a fake, manipulative hypocrite, then Bill doesn't look so bad by comparison. It is classic narcissistic behavior. Deflect, deflect, deflect. And Ted is going to hate it. Ted has spent years rebuilding his image. He has spent years trying to be the good father to Eva, the good uncle to Andre, the respectable guy who can date a doctor like Carlton Fitzgerald. If Bill starts tearing down that facade, Ted is going to panic. I honestly can't wait for the scenes. The dialogue is going to be so sharp. I hope they just let Timon Kyle Durrett and Keith D. Robinson act their faces off. Give them a whole episode just sitting in that hospital room, circling each other like sharks. But it also makes me sad for the kids, Eva and the others. They are the collateral damage in all of this. Eva is already struggling. She knows her mother is stuck in the past. If she finds out her father is playing games with Bill Hamilton, it might just break her. She needs stability right now, not more DMV drama. And Danny, oh Danny, she needs to run far, far away from all of these men. Bill is toxic. Ted is apparently fake. Andre is keeping secrets. The men on the show are just a mess right now. I am going to keep watching, obviously. I am too invested. I have been covering this show for a while, and even when it makes me want to pull my hair out, I still care. I want to see Bill get his comeuppance, but I also kind of want to see him drag Ted down with him. Is that bad? Probably. But that is why we watch soap operas. So what do you guys think? Are you Team Bill in this specific scenario, just because he is going to expose Ted? Or do you think Ted really is just a lonely guy who made a mistake with the maid and is getting a bad rap? Let me know in the comments because my brain is fried and I need to know I am not the only one obsessing over this. Alright, I am going to go get that coffee now before I completely lose my mind. I will see you guys in the next update.